kia he ake ana, te atakura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, tihei Māori ora. Morena everybody, welcome to our second Environment and Climate Change Committee. So first of all, we are just obviously some sad news in the environmental world and in Aotearoa. We're going to just have some quick acknowledgements followed by a minute of silence for Jeanette Fitzsimons and Sir Rob Fenwick, who've recently passed away, and the Mayor would like to lead both of those acknowledgements. We'll acknowledge Jeanette first.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And what struck me about Jeanette was that she always focused on the issue and never the person. And even in times in Parliament when she was attacked personally as, having crazy ideas and being out of touch with reality, she never responded. She focused on what she believed in, she was consistent in what she believed in, and it came from the heart, and she lived her values. And I think we owe her an immense debt. And as parliamentarians acknowledged following her death last week, she did win respect from all sides of the House, notwithstanding the fact that she was ahead of her time in many of the things that she was pushing in Parliament long before either Parliament or people were ready to accept it. Sir Rob Fenwick I knew originally from his time as chair of Antarctica New Zealand, and as such he had a very clear idea of what the impact of climate change was going to be on the Antarctic, and then what the impact of that change would be for the whole of the world. Sir Robert brought with him a very strong background in business, so it was very much harder for people to dismiss what Rob said about the environment, because he came from it from the perspective of somebody who had been a successful chief executive and business entrepreneur. But he fought consistently for a more sustainable environment. And both of these people leave a legacy that any one of us around this table would be very proud to have at the point that we left the political scene. They both made a real difference in how we look at the world. They moved us forward and they made a commitment to future generations of New Zealanders, and we should pay tribute to them and honour them on this occasion. Sir Rob, Jeanette, haere, haere, haere atu rā, moi mai, moi mai, moi mai. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Kia ora. Thank you, Mayor Goff. Would anyone... Oh, Councillor Fletcher.
This is indeed a very sad day. I, like the Mayor, had the great privilege of working with Jeanette Fitzsimons in Parliament. I was chairing the Transport and Environment Committee at the time, and she was just such a lovely, wise, kind person. We all agree the vision that she had. It's been amply demonstrated in the calmness and the approach that she's taken in socialising issues that to some it was an anathema. But I think with Jeanette I have heard little of just what a wonderful woman she was, what a kind person, what a thoughtful person. And I'm saddened to hear that she has passed. But with Sir Rob, going back to a family friendship from my childhood, Rob was there. He was the one championing treaty settlements long before it was fashionable. He was the one that invested in My FM, and he did so many things, whether it was Living Earth or all the many businesses that the Mayor has alluded to. I worked very, very closely with him and recruited him as actually chair of the Motutapu Restoration Trust at the time that the late Jim Holdaway needed to stand down because he had conflict within the Conservation Board. And Rob was chair with us through from 1998 through to 2001 from memory. And even then, when he stepped aside, he remained as a guardian. And I spoke to him as recently as last week, seeking his wise counsel and his understanding of the way in which, as we confront really difficult issues, that it's just going to take cool heads and just calmness as we progressively move forward. So at a very personal level, I will really miss Rob. He was an outstanding chair with us. He was a lovely person to work with, and he had a great sense of humour and could be quite wicked. But I think we have lost two very fine New Zealanders today, and I think it's highly appropriate, Mr. Chairman, that you are having us pause to acknowledge two very great people. We have lost two great totara, and I feel we are the lesser for it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Fletcher. Would anyone else like to speak? Okay, thank you. We'll just stand for a minute of silence. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Right, so apologies. We have apologies from Councillor Feso Collins for absence on family business. We have Councillor Chris Darby, he's here, so no, that's fine. And we have Councillor Shane Henderson for early departure. Oh. And also Councillor Fletcher for early departure. Thank you. Could I please have a mover for the apologies? Councillor Simpson, seconded by Councillor Casey. All those in favour? Aye. And against, and carried. We have an overture. Declarations of interest. Oh. Councillor Coombe.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to declare an interest that I was a trustee of Greyland 2030, one of the public forum items. And I was, yeah.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other declarations? Thank you. I don't have to move, do I? No. Confirmation of minutes from the 28th of November. Could I please have a mover for those? Councillor Simpson, seconder. Yep. Councillor Casey. Thank you. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Perfect. Any petitions? There are none. Public input. We have Brigitte first. Thank you. If you just come up to the table and Dr. Grant. Okay. So was it